Hi, welcome to Ask a Filmmaker Today. I'm your host, Max Bedell. In today's episode, we're going to be discussing contracts and what you can use a contract for to satisfy your business needs. Okay, so I feel there are four main principles that every contract should have. They are: 1. Payment. 2. Copyright information. 3. Scenes to be included. And 4. Liability stuff. So obviously, the payment part I feel is the most important thing. You need to let your client know how you expect to be paid and when you expect to be paid. I always feel it's important to have a contract signed that has a deposit included in it. That way, you can, at least if you do get ripped off, you at least got something for showing up. In my contracts, I always make the client pay me some money before I even attempt to show up. That's before all the editing and the post-production stuff has gone on. So obviously, you also want to protect yourself. I wouldn't recommend having a contract state that when you are satisfied with the product, then you'll pay me the money. I'd say after about a week after the event, you would want the client to pay you after they've seen some samples of the footage. Not necessarily the event completed, but at least they see a sample, they know you can edit. I'd say write the contract to get the money a week after the event. If you don't, the client very well will probably take advantage of you, try to get as many edits out of you as possibly can, and may not even pay you. So as we move into step 2, copyright issues, it's important to let the client know, are you going to use their footage in ways to promote your business? You obviously probably do, but not every client will probably be okay with it, so you want to include a section to let the client know that their footage will be used to showcase your business. If they are not okay with that, have a section where they would say, if you are not okay with that, sign here. That way they know that they are not going to be used, and you and them are only going to be the only ones to see it. An important thing to do, though, is to make sure that the client has copyrightable rights just as well as you do, because they may want to make extra copies of the DVD, send it to their friends, friends of friends, stuff like that, instead of just immediate family and close friends. So as we move into step number 3, which is the scenes to be included, the steps of the event, an event of a wedding and stuff like that, there's going to be a lot of stuff going on, and you got to be sure whatever they want and they feel is necessary, they need that written down, because sometimes you're not going to be familiar with certain cultural things or even parties. You may not understand what's going on, when and where it's going on, so they need to be very specific when and where that's supposed to be going on. Also, have a time where you're expected to be, when you're expected to be at point A from this time to this time to point B from this time to this time. Always be specific. That way, you're not going to be taken advantage of. I've known some people who have have done their contracts for the full day. That's another option, but in this case, if you don't want to be taken advantage of, say basically, I'm going to show up for 6 hours, and whatever is in this list that's in these 6 hours, I'll get on tape. And that's if I don't get on tape, that's my problem. That's not your problem. This also cuts away from, in the post production, the client saying, "How come you didn't get this on film?" If you have the contract, you can say, "Well, you didn't write this down, so it wasn't my responsibility to get it done." And they know that they should have wrote it down. So I'm not saying that to make it sound like you're slacking off, but people will take advantage of you as much as they possibly can, and sometimes freelance work, so you need to be protected. And that's not necessarily saying that you're gonna go, you're not gonna run the extra mile or anything like that, but it's like stores like Target, they have certain times in their receipts when you're going to return the items. You can't return them after a year after you purchase it, even if they haven't been opened. So, it's simple like that. And the 4th item that I have in the contract is some liability stuff. If you are sick or you do have a flat tire on the way to the event, that way you are protected. I would recommend giving all the money back if you did get a deposit from the event. So, they're not basically paying you not to show up. But, it's just a case there, so they can't sue you. The big thing in the contract, you don't want to be sued. You want to be paid, and that's pretty much the main purpose of the contract. So, in a little bit of background information on the show, we're going to be broadcasting from on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And on tomorrow's show, Wednesday night, we're going to be discussing freelance work opportunities that you can get and how to maintain a consistent income. And then on Thursday, we're going to be discussing freelance business etiquette, how to interact with your customers and clients, and how they'll call you back. So, thank you for watching Ask a Filmmaker today. I'm your host, Max Bedell. Any comments? We'd love to see them, or you could subscribe. That'd be great. Thanks. Enjoy your filmmaking.